Welcome everyone to the Maths class. Today we are going to learn the continuation of last class, 5th chapter, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry. First, let us study about axioms. Axioms means it is a mathematical statements that have been accepted to be true without any proof. Axiom is a mathematical statement. Without proof, it is accepted as a true statement. That is axiom. Okay. Now let us study about the word postulate. It is a new word for you, isn't it? Postulate. The meaning of postulate is postulates are similar to axioms. Postulates are the mathematical statements specific to geometry. This is the difference between postulates and axiom. This is specific to geometry that have been accepted to be true without any proof. So axioms and postulates are similar, but postulates are specific to geometry. That is the difference between both. Now let us see Euclid's 7 axioms in detail. These are the 7 axioms of Euclid. Let's see one by one. The first one is things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. Let us see an example to understand this first axiom. The axiom number 1 is two things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. See here we have a triangle and a rectangle. Area of both triangle and rectangle are same. Okay, so area of triangle is equal to area of rectangle. One more thing also given. Area of the same rectangle is equal to area of square. Okay, two things are given. So here area of triangle is equal to area of rectangle. Then here the area of rectangle is equal to area of the square. So from these two, shall we say that area of the triangle is equal to area of the square? Yes, because this is equal to rectangle, isn't it? Rectangle is equal to what? Square. So instead of this we can write this area of square. So from these we can say area of triangle is equal to area of square. So now see this again. Two things which are equal. This is equal and this is also equal. These two things are equal. Then equal to the same thing. That means this is equal to rectangle. Here the rectangle comes again here. Rectangle equal to square. Then they are equal to one another. So these two are equal to one another. So this is the example for first axiom. Now second axiom. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. So the meaning of this one is equal quantities are there. For example, see here we have 500 rupees and also again one more 500 rupees. Okay, two amounts are equal. Then these two amounts are added to another two amount, that two also equal. See here 10 rupee, 10 rupee. These 500 rupees separately added to 10 rupees. Separate 10 rupees. Okay, so what will be the answer? The answer will be this is sum of these two 510. This also 510, isn't it? So the whole, the total is also same 510 and 510. So the second axiom is if equals are added to equal. Here the equal amount is added to another equal amount. So the wholes are also equal. So this is the second axiom. Now let's see the third axiom. Third axiom is if equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. So this is also similar to the previous one. See here two bowls of rice are there. 500 gram and 500 gram each. Here particular amount, see here 10 grams. This is 10 grams. Particular amount is taken from both the bowls. Okay, the same quantity 10 gram is taken from both the bowls. So what will happen? The remaining also will be same, isn't it? If 10 grams are taken from the 500 grams, what will be the remaining? 490 grams. Here also 490 90 grams. Now come to the statement. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Axiom number 4. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. Here, see, things which are coincide with one another are equal to one another. Let's see an example to understand this axiom. Here we have 3 right-angled triangle, isn't it? So, it is given that AB means this side, AB is equal to DC is this side. So, this side is equal to this side, then which is equal to PQ, this is also equal. So, for these 3 triangles, what is equal? AB is equal, DE is equal and PQ is equal. Okay. Now, what else given here? BC equal to EF equal to QR. So, BC means this much is equal to EF, this much is equal to QR. So, this is also equal. Okay. Then, finally, it is given AC is equal to DF is equal to PR. So, the remaining one more side also equal. Equal means coincide. So, what is the result here? These 3 triangles are equal to one another, isn't it? So, the things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. Okay. Now, 5th axiom, the whole is greater than the part. So, the statement is the whole is greater than the part. See here we have a full cake. It is cut down into 2 pieces so that this is the half. This is a small portion from this cake, isn't it? So, this is whole part. This is a little part, isn't it? This is half part. This is a small part. So, here compare these two, which is greater? The whole part is greater, isn't it? Compare these two. This is whole part is greater. So, the whole is always greater than the part. 6th axiom is things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Let's see an example. See here, a glass of water is there. This is equal to 2 times half a glass of water, isn't it? 2 times half a glass of water is full glass of water. So, this is equal to 2 times half a glass of water. Second one is, there is a bowl of water which is equal to 2 times half a glass of water. 2 times half a glass of water is equal to 1 bowl of water. So, here see here, these two are equal, isn't it? So that we can say these two are also equal. A glass of water is equal to a bowl of water. So, things which are double of the same thing. These two can be written as double of the same thing, isn't it? So that these two things are same. Last axiom, axiom number 7. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Let's see an example. There is a watermelon. This can be cut down into 2 parts, isn't it? Half watermelon plus half watermelon. So here, these 2 halves will be same, isn't it? So, things which are halves of the same thing are equal to one another. These two are equal to one another. Now, let's see first postulate. Postulate number 1. A straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. A straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. See here, this is a point. Let us take this as A, point A. This is another point. This is point B. Okay. See here, this orange color line. This is a line passing through A and B. There are lot of lines are there which are passing through A and B separately, isn't it? Separately, lot of lines are passing through the point A and B, but only one line only passing through the point A and B together, isn't it? So, a straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. Postulate number 2. A terminated line can be produced indefinitely. A terminated line can be produced indefinitely. That means here, according to Euclid, a terminated line means it is a part of a line. That means what is meant by part of a line? It is a line segment, isn't it? If we have a line, for example, if this is a line, this is a part of a line, isn't it? This much. It is a line segment. So, it is called as terminated line, which has 2 points at the end, here and here. These 2 points A and B are end points of the line segment. Okay. Now, if we need, we can extend both the sides, isn't it? We can extend both the sides so that the line become little bigger, isn't it? So, a terminated line can be produced indefinitely. So, we can extend up to our wish. It can be extended indefinitely. Postulate number 3. A circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. If we have one point and a radius, we can draw circle, isn't it? There is no condition for circle. The center must be like this. Okay. So, if there is a center and a radius, we can draw lot of circles with a different radius, isn't it? So, a circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. Postulate number 4. All right angles are equal to one another. All right angles are equal to one another. See here. Here we have a right angle. Here also we have right angle. See these figures. These three also have right angles, isn't it? These all right angles are same. Why? Because right angle means how much it is? 90 degree, isn't it? So all the right angles are equal. So according to Euclid, all right angles are equal to one another. Postulate number 5. If a line segment intersects two straight lines forming two interior angles on the same side that sum up to less than two right angles, then the two lines, if extended indefinitely, meet on that side on which the angles sum up to less than two right angles. Okay. See here, if a line segment, just consider this is a line segment AB. Okay. AB is a line segment. Intersect two straight lines. This line segment AB intersect, that means cut two another line segments CD and EF. These two are another line segment CD and EF. Here this AB line segment cut these two lines. Okay. If a line segment intersect two straight lines forming two interior angles, by cutting these two line segment, it forms two interior angles. See this G and H are the two interior angles. The sum of these two interior angles up to less than two right angles. What is meant by two right angles? Two right angles means 2 into 90 degree. Okay. Two right angles. 2 into 90 degree. That is 180 degree. So the angle sum here will be less than 180 degree. Okay. If the two lines extended indefinitely, these two lines extended. See here, this is extended here. This is also extended here. If these two lines are extended indefinitely, meet on that side. That which side? The angle side. It will meet on particular point, isn't it? On which the angle sum up to less than two right angles. Okay. If these two angles sum is less than 180 degree, then definitely these two lines meet at a particular point. So this is the fifth postulate. Let us do some problems now. Let us see some problems from practice question 2.1 from supplementary book page number 43. First question is, State whether the following statements are always true, always false or ambiguous. Give reasons. First one, A. Euclidean geometry is valid only for curved surfaces. Euclidean geometry is valid only for curved surfaces. Is it true? No, it is false because Euclidean geometry is valid only for figures that on the flat surfaces. Okay, it's not applicable for curved surfaces. B question. The boundaries of solid spaces are curves. Is it true? No, false. The boundaries of a solid spaces can be curves or straight lines, isn't it? We can't say that the boundaries of a solid shapes are curves only. It may be curve or a straight line. C question. The statements that are proved are called axioms. Is this true? No, false, because axioms are the mathematical statements that have been accepted to be true without a proof. So, this C statement is false. Question number 2.2. Rahul and Ravi have the same weight if they each gain weight by 2 kgs. Now, will their new weights be compared? Explain using the correct Euclid's axiom. Here the question is, two persons are there, Rahul and Ravi, both are having the same weight. Okay. Then, they are gaining some weight. How much it is? 2 kgs. Each one gaining 2 kg weights. That is also same. How will their new weights be compared? So, according to Euclid's second axiom, if equals are added to equals, the whole are also equal. So, what about the new weights of both? Both will be same, isn't it? Rahul and Ravi's new weight also will be same. See here, an example is given. Suppose the weight of Rahul and Ravi may be 10 kgs. Just let us take 10 kgs. Okay. Then, how much they are gaining? 2 kgs. So, what is the weight of Rahul? 10 plus 2 kg. That is total 12 kg is the weight of Rahul. What is the weight of Ravi? Ravi also have the same weight 10 kg. So, 10 kg is the initial weight. Then, how much he is gaining? 2 kgs. So, total 10 plus 2 is 12 kg. Now, their new weights are also equal 12 kgs.